If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my.
I done been around the world. Yeah, I was made for this.
Player Performance with J.A. Cavalier.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MLB Player Performance, the morning show, Thursday, June the 26th, 2025. The Shark and the Gun, a full card rundown today. 8 out of 9 games in the afternoon. They must have wanted us to get on here and talk some ball. J.A. Cavalier traveling around the world. Burnsy's off today. Luke is hanging out, and Coach is also hanging out. We are here for you guys. A great conversation to ensue. Gunz, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, we got to give the people a little bit of bets. And they said, you know what? You just take the whole card. How about that? And the MLB just said, we'll just make them all matinee games. How about that? We have a night game, too, we're going to talk about on this show. So you get a little bit of extra action here on the morning show. I can't wait to get to the card. We got plays, we got looks, we got leans, and we'll tell you which games to pass on. Shark, I'm ready to go.
Thursday's theme is money. MLB, the morning, afternoon, and night show. Player Performance starts now.
I live the bright lights, the type, the crowd lights. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they wanna be me, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
As I just said, Thursday's theme is money. Let's get into the card. First game up, 110 in Detroit. Closing game. This is a getaway day for most of the card, thus the matinees. Tigers-A's game 3. Really interesting pitching matchup. Gunz and I were just joking before we started recording here. This is the third show we start with a Tigers game where we basically have no clue who the starting pitcher is. You get Jeffrey Springs for the A's. He's been sketchy on the road. Speaking of sketchy, Tigers, can you ever give us a normal starter? I guess not. Gunz, any thoughts in this game?
Yeah, every time, can we actually get a Tiger game that we can actually talk on the show? I know we do a lot of the early games, but every time we get a Detroit Tiger early game, we get nothing to talk about. And we have it here. Detroit really giving us nothing here as far as who, like, the dynamic of the pitching is. They're going to bring in a relief pitcher to start the game, and who knows how long he's going to go. His last data, when we look before the show, was 2021 in the big leagues. So, I don't know where this guy's going to be. I don't know how he's pitching. Is he pitching great? Has he been in the minors? Who knows? Jeffrey Springs on the other side. His ERA currently is kind of matching his expected ERA. His numbers are kind of all over the place as far as first fives, sides, and totals. I couldn't find an angle on this one, and it was just an immediate pass within 30 seconds, knowing that I didn't know who the solidified starting pitchers are before the show started.
Yeah, I mean, again, just reiterating, the third time we've had this discussion in the early going of this morning version of MLB Player Performance. One of the times we did discuss this, it was against the Cincinnati Reds. It was over a weekend. It was like a noon game. And Detroit did the same thing. They threw a bullpen game, a bunch of pitchers we've never really heard of. They did actually lose the game. They came out reasonably well as a favorite, but did give it back late. Cincinnati did win the game. I could see this happening again. I mean, Jeffrey Springs coming over here from the Rays. This guy's a representative pitcher. He has been poor on the road situationally, a little unpredictable. But to be perfectly honest with you, betting a consistent starter is a lot more agreeable than betting a bullpen game. Seems like Detroit's kind of punting some of these games. I'm not entirely sure why. AJ Hinch can tell us. We don't know. But we do know top lean would be Oakland at +1.5 here. And we will move on to greener pastures and better games. Next game on the card, 110. Cleveland, Ohio, Guardians, Blue Jays, game 3. 2 whopping overs already in this series. This is a matinee between 2 aces, Kevin Gausman and Tanner Bybee. I got to be honest, I think this is a classic Shark and the Gun special where we see 2 things prior, 2 overs. The whole world thinks nobody can stop anybody in this game. I think Gausman's going to have a great start, as will Bybee. Looking towards the under. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I can't knock you off of that one. I mean, even though Gausman has really been an over pitcher, 7-1 to the over when the total is 8 or more. Gausman has pitched against Cleveland. He was a -55 home favorite in that game. Short dog here. That game ended at 5-3. So you can tell that, the scoring can stay pretty low when he plays Cleveland. And if you even look at the matchup between the batters, and I'll get into a prop that we've got to be taking on this one, a lot of the bigger hitters in the lineup for Cleveland seem to struggle against Kevin Gausman. And then you got to look at the other side for Tanner Bybee. Tanner Bybee is not the greatest road pitcher with a 4.78 ERA. At home, he's a very, very much a different pitcher, 2.5 ERA. He's also 2-6 straight up in his last 8 starts with Cleveland, 1-3 straight up in first fives versus the AL East. So he has struggled a little bit with the AL East, but I think he's a better pitcher at home. I think what you have to do with this one is start looking at a little bit of the props. Now, we don't talk about the props too much on the show, but I was trying to find an angle to give here because I didn't really have a look on the side, the total or the first 5. Look at Jose Ramirez's numbers when he faces Gausman. In his career, he's faced him 8 games. 4 for 23. He has a 1.74 batting average, 0 home runs, 0 RBIs. So if you're looking for a market to attack this game, I think we can just take the unders in Jose Ramirez. If it's hits, runs, and RBIs at under 1.5, or maybe even total bases, that kind of thing, that's probably the direction I would go with this game. But I have a feeling with knowing that Gausman pitches well against Cleveland and Tanner Bybee pitches at home, we're probably looking at a low-scoring affair, but I'm not going to play it that way. I think I'm going to attack the Jose Ramirez props.
Yeah, I mean, you're landing me on a platter here. This is a great little intro. I mean, the under, as I said, best look. But best look in this game for me is actually the first 5 under. I really think you're going to see a pitcher's duel here right from the first pitch. As I said, 2 bloated totals the previous night. This has been seen numerous times already this season, not just Blue Jays Guardians. You get a Thursday game to close a series midweek. Both teams are traveling after this game, I believe. You just see 2 top quality pitchers. They're rested and they're playing their 1 out of every 5 days. So they're hyper focused. The lineups played last night hit great, barely got any sleep. The lineups are lackluster. These really are pitcher spots. And as Gunz mentioned, it's actually a great buy low for both pitchers. Bybee's coming off a real pedestrian, kind of bizarre start at Oakland. He went 8 innings in the game, 10 Ks. So that line you would expect he won, right? Nope, 11 hits, 5-1 loss. One of the most bizarre score sheets I've seen for a pitcher all year. Just to say that again, 8 innings pitched, 10 Ks. So they left him in for the entire game. He only had 105 pitches, very efficient. 11 hits, 4 earned runs, 5-1 loss. Makes no sense. But he is 3-0 at home this year, coming off of a previous road loss, and his efficiency at home is excellent, as Gunz mentioned. Same conversation for Gausman. Gausman just got hammered at home against Arizona in a matinee last week. He is great this season, 2-0 versus quality starts off a prior start where he gave up 5 earned runs or more. Gausman will be locked in. Bybee will be locked in. And they both did pitch well against this opponent earlier this year. Top look. This will be a VIP look. We appreciate you guys tuning in the morning with us. Take the first 5 under in this game, and let's cash. Keeping it moving. Next game, national game here. Mariners, Twins at 110. That is 12-10, I believe, in Minnesota. So a very early start here. Emerson Hancock at Simeon Woods Richardson. Very interesting matchup. And both pitchers here, young pitchers, we're trying to figure out. I kind of like Woods Richardson here. He kind of burned me last weekend, but I think it's a bounce back for Woods Richardson. And Hancock has performed poorly on the road. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think from a side standpoint, at least from my perspective, I try to stay away from those pitchers that burn me, even though the number kind of looks that way. It seems like I have bad taste in my mouth looking at Woods Richardson. Hancock isn't that much better, 1-4 straight up in his last 5 starts. His ERA is right on top of his current. He's sitting at a 5.43 currently. Simeon Woods Richardson, though, better home pitcher, especially shows in the totals. 5-2 to the under as a favorite in Woods Richardson starts this year, and he's 4-1 to the under in his last 5 starts at home. I think, knowing that Woods Richardson has lost his last 3 and seeing him here at the line that it's sitting at now, it kind of makes you want to take that Woods Richardson line. Minnesota's just had these weird struggles lately, and they're very tough to cap, and you don't know if they're getting out of their funk now or if it's going to take a little bit. Seattle on the other side, kind of playing well on the road. Tough to play the side on this one, but I think these two pitchers, playing a matinee game, playing an early game, the bats aren't probably that awake on this one. It's not an official play on this one, but if I'm going to take this one, I'd probably look towards the total on the under at 8.5.
Yeah, no, I think this is a really nice buy low on Woods Richardson, actually. This guy's a young, high upside pitcher. He did go into the minors for about a month. He was a little sketchy, came back. He did get hammered in his first start back by Texas, 16-4 loss going back Tuesday, June 10th. But since then, 2 starts, both losses, he's been good. And I think that's the key point. When he's put good data on record, but not able to get the win, that's where you want to buy low. Go back to Sunday, June 15th at Houston. Very solid. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 0 earned runs. He took a 2-1 loss, but not because of his own quality. For some reason, he got pulled after 53 pitches. When I was looking at that earlier, I couldn't figure out why. I mean, I know the manager is very analytics driven in Minnesota, probably to a fault. I've seen Baldelli out there pull pitchers inexplicably versus just pure eyeball evaluation because his textbook is telling him he needs to pull. This dude literally was locked in. Again, 5 innings pitched, 1 hit. 53 pitches. Why are you pulling this dude? Makes no sense. Last start against Milwaukee, we gave you guys Woods Richardson over the weekend. Of course, Milwaukee won 9-0, but again, it was really an anomaly game. Quintana and Woods Richardson both had 7 runners on base precisely through 6 innings. Quintana managed to give up 0 runs. Woods Richardson gave up 4, including 1 unearned. Point is, everything statistically is pointing to an uptick for Woods Richardson. And as I said, Hancock has been awful on the road. Hancock just got absolutely hammered at Chicago. He's also a momentum pitcher on the road. This is his 3rd time this year where he has back-to-back road starts. The previous 2, he won the first one, stayed on the road, and won the second one. This is the first time all year he lost the first one. I think it's going to play the same way. Win becomes a win. Loss becomes a loss with this guy. And final point on this. Last year, Hancock did pitch in Minnesota early season on May 7th. Not very good numbers. 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 walks, 1 home run against, 4 earned runs. Extreme labor. I expect Woods Richardson to get the W here. Significant angle towards Minnesota, and we will keep it moving. 210 in Houston. Final game of this series as well. Interleague matchup here. Very interesting pitching matchup, to be perfectly honest. You get 2 really high-quality pitchers here. Hunter Brown at home versus Christopher Sanchez. Both pitchers have performed very well in this environment this year. Brown is 5-1 at home. Sanchez is 6-2 on the road. For those of you guys who follow the Phillies or bet baseball at the level we do, you know one thing. Sanchez historically has not been a great road pitcher. I think he's a little bit too clean on the road. Some of his wins also against lackluster opponents. For me, this really speaks to the Astros here at 2 o'clock. Gunz, do you align?
Yeah, I can't talk you off of that one, especially with Hunter Brown on the mound. I mean, he's playing like a Cy Young pitcher right now. Christopher Sanchez, though, you said it. Kind of fool's gold. His numbers look great. He's got a 2.87 ERA, 1.19 WHIP. His expected ERA, though, is 3.31. Road ERA is 2.54. Philly is 6-1 in Sanchez's last 7 starts, but you got to look at the resume, the teams he's gone against, right? It's Colorado, Oakland, Atlanta, twice against Toronto, Pittsburgh, and Miami. Not the best teams in the world as far as MLB strength is concerned. And he's sitting in the dog roll. He's only been in the dog roll twice this year. He's 1-1 in those situations. Similar line structure, though, when you see it at 7.5. So maybe a low scoring affair in those because those both did go under. Then you got to look at it, the Philly side 4-0 straight up versus AL teams this year. But Hunter Brown's just been absolutely electric. His expected ERA is a little bit concerning because it is a little over a run past his current at 1.18, but he's got a 0.92 WHIP. At home, he's a better pitcher with a 1.19 ERA. He's 10-12. When Houston is 10-2 straight up in Brown's last 12 starts and 6-2 to the under in his last 8. Just numbers all over the board just basically tell you to take Brown on this one. He's 3-0 to the under versus NL teams. He's 7-3-1 to the under when the total is 7.5 or less. A lot of under trends, but a lot of W's in that sample size. But instead of looking at the side on this one, I think the total has validity. On a day game, switching it up, last game of the series, I think Philly Houston under the total here at 7.5 is the way I'd go with this one.
Yeah, I mean, definitely similar conversation what we just said about the Gaussman Bybee environment. These teams are traveling after the game. Again, reiterating, these pitchers pitch 1 out of every 5 days. So this is like pitcher championship game every time they pitch. Hyper focus. To be honest, sometimes I think these pitchers aren't even in the arena or the stadium the night before. They're at home getting sleep, particularly for matinees. So they're super locked in, and the lineups won't be. So I totally agree the under, but just reiterating the point, this is definitely a Hunter Brown home spot. 5-1 at home this year. Only loss actually came in the opener on March 28th against the Mets. Key point there was actually kind of a short number for Brown, -120. This is significantly heavier at -139 open and catching market steam north, already at -145 at this point of recording. And as Gunz mentioned, Sanchez, I think it really is inflated. I think he's due for a loss. I think the Houston lineup is actually showing upside. I think they will be able to tee off on him to a certain degree. I think he might cash that under, but it might be like 5-1 Houston or something like that. And final point on this, Sanchez is 3-0 this year at American League opponents. Key point, though, all as a favorite. -130 at Tampa Bay, -180 at Oakland. Very fortunate to win in extra innings, and 165 at Toronto. First time as a dog on the road in this environment. Take the Astros in this game, and let's cash. Keeping it moving here, also at 210, Rays Royals. Yet another finale on a Thursday afternoon here. Kansas City hosting the Rays. Baz at Lorenzen. Shane Baz has been very skeptical, sketchy, whatever you want to call it, on the road, particularly on matinees. Lorenzen is always sketchy and skeptical, and whatever words I want to use. Based on all that, I think it's probably an over. Gunz, what do you think?
I mean, when you see how the series has gone and you see how the game last night happened, I mean, we're looking at a low-scoring affair in the Wednesday game, now going into Thursday, and you're seeing a high total. It kind of tells you where everything's going, right? Shane Baz, like you said, day games, he's got a 7.06 ERA, but he's 4.79 for the year. So a lot better when it's dark out, not during the day. Tampa has won Baz's last 6 starts, going 6-0 and 5-1 to the over in those positions. But this is the highest total that Tampa has had when Baz has been the starter all year. So take note of that, knowing that Baz has a little bit of a streak on the overs. When you look at Michael Lorenzen on the other side, he's got a 4.23 expected ERA, so that's rate kind of on his 4.81 that is current right now. And it's weird that the line is this high for the total because he has a 3.30 ERA versus having a 5.68 on the road. But KC is 4-1 to the over in Lorenzen's last 5 starts, 4-1 to the under at home. A little bit concerning there, but those numbers were a lot lower than what we're seeing in this spot. And this is the highest total in Lorenzen starts this year and the highest total in all of KC games versus the AL East. So take note of that. The books are telling a story that I don't know what pitcher's going to falter here first. Not saying falter from the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm talking about this game here. I think it's going to be an over spot here. So I think the best play on this one is Tampa KC over the total at 10.
Yeah, I mean, you're making great points. I completely align with it. We're talking about unders in other games. I also think just situationally, we've been talking about overs at Wrigley Field in the last 2 weeks. Kansas City is in the same region of the country, very similar weather patterns. This is that Midwest afternoon heat, which is really facilitating overs at Wrigley. It's not so much the same conversation in Cleveland or in the Dome in Houston. So this is a really unique outdoor environment on a Thursday afternoon. And as you mentioned, this line is just screaming over. You see a double-digit line with Shane Baz involved. And actually, Lorenzen did pitch at Tampa Bay going back to April 29th against Taj Bradley. Final score in that game, 3-1. And the total was a low 8.5. So this is line functionality. And this is really the beauty of looking at what the books do with numbers and similar matchups. Lorenzen, 3-1 pitchers duel at Tampa, 8.5. Same pitcher a couple months later against actually a guy that's perceived to be like an ace quality pitcher, Shane Baz, of course, coming off of surgery, probably not of the same quality of 2 years ago, but up to 10. Take the over in this game and let's fucking go, people. It is Thursday morning, and we are ready to dominate. Keeping it moving here. 2:15. Speaking of the Cubs, final game of this series in St. Louis, Busch Stadium, 2:15. Also outside, I think another one which could be an over here. Obviously, Shota Imanaga coming back off the injured list versus the elusive, notorious Andre Pallante. Andre Pallante is impossible to figure out. I was looking at his schedule. It's good road, bad home, good road. It's like, dude, are you good at home? Are you good on the road? Do you have any consistency? Not really. I think Shota Imanaga has to be a buy here. He is far more consistent, even off the injured list. Gunz, I think you align.
Yeah, completely. I think this is a Chicago Cubs spot. Knowing that they really haven't played that well, knowing, I mean, granted, they played very well today. Actually, I'm sorry, Wednesday. Get my days screwed up when we do these recordings now. But when we look at this game show, Imanaga, like you said, been on the injury list, but he was playing very well up to that point when he went out. The only last start was May 4th. Chicago was 5-2 straight up in his 7 starts. Also 4-1 to the under in those situations. And most of those were on the road. 3-1 straight up and 2-1 to the over when the total is 9 or more. So maybe that's leaning towards an over side, but the sample size is very small there. But you have Pallante. Pallante, his ERA is 4.48 currently, 4.2 to the expected ERA. He's 1-3 straight up in his last 4 home starts. The over is pretty strong when it comes to Pittsburgh in these situations because they've hit 6 in a row, actually going to 7 in a row after tonight. But when I look at this game and we're looking at Imanaga, I think he's going to come back strong. If the books didn't think he was going to come back strong, I feel like it would be a low favorite here or maybe even a small dog, but you're not seeing it here. You're seeing that this guy's healthy, he's ready to go, and he's ready to come in there and dominate like he did before the injury. So I think it's a Chicago spot all day long. I'm taking it on the money line, full game as a play.
Yeah, no, my top lean in this game, and I might get there in the early afternoon, is definitely Chicago. And, as we said, he's coming off the injured list, but Imanaga's been great on the road this year. 22 2/3 innings pitched, only 17 hits, 7 walks, only 3 earned runs. So he's got a low whip to begin with, and he manages runners on base very well. A lot of these veteran, I believe he's Japanese, these veteran Japanese pitchers who come over here, highly effective. Like, I'm not entirely sure how they're coached as youth players, but they're very cerebral. They're very in tune with themselves. So they're very good with runners on base. They got a lot of zen in them, if you will. They're much less the implosion doesn't come as imminently as it does for certain other pitchers of different backgrounds. But I think he will pitch effectively here. I would lean that direction. And as I said, Andre Pallante, I mean, the guy, he's young. He's only like 26, but I mean, I can't figure this guy out. Some guys just seems like every day they're shot out of a different cannon, and it's totally unpredictable. Only one start in recent history for Pallante, actually last year. It was versus Imanaga, June 15th last year, St. Louis at Chicago. Just to even give further credential to Imanaga here, Imanaga aced St. Louis in that game. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no walks, 1 earned, 6 Ks, complete ace. Pallante, can't say the same for him. He was extremely pedestrian in that game, didn't make it out of the 4th inning. Really getting in line with the gun here. I'll probably be official in the morning on this. Cubs all day. Go, Cubs, go. You're not in Chicago. You're in St. Louis. Let's dominate. Next game on the card, 3:10 in Colorado. Divisional baseball here. Can't say the same level of competition we might expect at Busch Stadium. This is the Rockies running a historically terrible campaign, and this is the Dodgers running a historically amazing campaign. Talk about 2 teams going in opposite directions. Final game of the series. Every line in this series has been 300 or higher. Every line versus the total has been 11 or 12. Seems like the same conversation every day. Got to be the Dodgers and got to be the over. Gunz, agree?
Yeah, the over is the strongest look on this one. I mean, Kershaw has just been an over pitcher all year. Every time he stands on the mound, he's 7-0 to the over in his starts. And the Dodgers are 5-2 straight up in those looks too. His road ERA is very low, 1.50 versus having a 4.35 at home. But he's going against Austin Gomer. Austin Gomer, only 2 starts under his belt. He has an 8.38 ERA, 1.66 whip. His expected ERA is just under that at 7.81. But Colorado is 6-2-1 to the over versus divisional opponents at home this year when the total is 11.5 or more. And then when you take it to the other side with the Dodgers versus divisional opponents when the total is 10 or more, Dodgers are 4-0 to the over. And I'm going to be taking advantage of these divisional matchups with Colorado as long as they're playing at home, and that total is sitting at 11 plus. I'm going to do the same thing over and over again because it is cash money. Give me the Dodgers, Colorado over the total here, 11.5 as the play.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. And also, we've seen Austin Gomber pitch a lot better on the road, even going back to last year. Very good on the road. And, of course, that makes sense. Coors Field, high altitude, tough. It's not a pitcher's park at all. In fact, it's historically the worst pitcher's park in all of baseball. This guy is not good at home. So you want to buy him on the road. He actually did beat, I believe, the Braves recently as an extreme dog. But this is not his spot. And as you said, Kershaw, at this point, he's not the Cy Young winner of 7 or 8 years ago. So over in this game for the Gun, I would not disagree. Next game on the card, 3:45, of course, 12:45 Pacific, Oracle Park in San Francisco. Giants Marlins. Very interesting pitching situation here. We got two young pitchers, Jansen Junk, Hayden Birdsong. I mean, Gunz and I love joking about the names of these pitchers. It's actually kind of hilarious. We love these guys. No shade. It's just actually funny. These names are wild. I was saying to Gunz, Jansen Junk sounds like he's like an Irish gangster sipping whiskey in Boston. And Gunz said Hayden Birdsong sounds like he's some folk singer out in like the woods of California. But no, they're actually pitchers pitching at Oracle Park this afternoon. San Francisco laying a big figure. Don't like these figures at all. Minus 180, 200. Overpriced one-run games more often than not. I really have nothing on this one other than some funny commentary. Gunz, anything?
Yeah. And the problem is, I think, the way I'm going to cap this one, I'm going to look at the total here. Jansen Junk, 2.60 ERA is expected as 4.2. You can't really, he doesn't have a lot of starts under his belt. That's probably why, because he has one start. You did it against Atlanta. He pitched very well, 62 in that game. Total was 9 in that spot. This is a lower total than what he did in his first game, though. Miami is 6-1 to the under in the last 7 games versus the NL West. So it's always been low scoring, very competitive pitching duels when Miami has to play teams in the West. Hayden Birdsong on the other side, very good at home with a 2.73 ERA versus having a 3.91 on the road. And Birdsong has some data because he played Miami already back in June 1st. Minus 110 road favorite in that one. The total was 8. They did win that game 4-2. Now it's ticked down now that he's the home pitcher. Different pitching matchup. He pitched against Weathers, of course, not Jansen Junk. But San Francisco in their last 10 games versus the NL East, a lot of unders. 9-1 to the under in their last 10 when they face the NL East. Also, you got to look at 4-1 to the under versus NL East teams when the total is 7 or less. So everything on both sides for the Miami Marlins and the San Francisco Giants is saying under, and the line is telling you that as well. So we're looking for a low-scoring affair here. Official play for the show. Give me Miami, San Francisco under the total here, 7.5 as the play.
Yeah, as I said, I didn't go through this one in detail, but I wouldn't disagree. And as you said, Birdsong, this does have some matchup data. And I think just continuing the conversation of the weather and the general geography of these outdoor games in the middle of the summer, this stadium actually leans to unders. We said Houston indoors, Cleveland a little further north, Kansas City, middle of the country, Busch Stadium, Wrigley Field, middle of the country, of course, Coors Field at altitude. But San Francisco, Oracle Park on the Bay. I was watching a game even recently, like 2 weeks ago. People had jackets on. I swear they're up in it's like Alaska up there. But I don't know what the weather is going to be precisely on Thursday afternoon, but it really is not like the plains in the Midwest with this sweltering heat and no wind. It is really, really a pitcher's park, and the weather does dictate. So I think outside of the actual handicap, I think this is definitely probably an underlook versus the weather and geography of these other matinees. So Gunz on the under and keeping it moving. That's the end of the matinee games. We're doing the primetime game. This is the only version of MLB Player Performance on this Thursday. One game. It is a night game. It is a divisional game. It is in Queens, New York, and it is Braves-Mets. Final game of this series. Mets by team, Atlanta by team. Both teams projected to go to the playoffs. Atlanta came out absolutely terribly this year. The Mets came out scorching hot, cooled off a little bit recently, looking to potentially get back to their winning ways. I have not gotten to an official yet, but the Gun, looking at the road team and the road pitcher, Grant Holmes. Gunz, I believe you have an official in this one.
Yeah, and I also got a prop gun play on this one too. I think this is the best prop that I could find on the board for the Thursday slate. Grant Holmes kind of been pitching pretty well as of late. His road numbers are a little bit better, worse than his home 4.58 on the road versus 3.08 at home. He's 3-0 to the under versus divisional opponents, and all totals were at 8.5. So this line is kind of already sitting in that position. Problem is, when we talk about Canning, which I'll get to in a second, more of an over pitcher. Atlanta is 1-4 straight up in Holmes's last 5 starts, so maybe there's a do factor there. 6-1-1 to the under in Holmes's starts when the total is 8.5 or less as well. So a lot of under trends and maybe fade Holmes in a lot of these situations. But Holmes did play the Mets last year. Granted, it was the second leg of a doubleheader on the last game of the season when the Mets were going to go play in the playoffs in the next game. Very different dynamic than it was in this situation, because that line was minus 273. This one is at minus 108 for Atlanta. But Griffin Canning on the other side, numbers are very skewed versus home and road splits. He's got a 4.95 ERA at home versus a 2.89 on the road. 5-1 to the over in those situations, so he's more of an over pitcher. So it kind of washes out both Holmes and Canning in this spot. And he's pitched against the Atlanta Braves. He did it for the LA Angels last year and absolutely got rocked. 9 runs he gave up. So the hitters know how to hit him. And then it's very hard to trust this New York Mets team, knowing they're 2-10 in their last 12. They seem to not be able to get off the snide. Something is very off with this team, and I hate backing teams that are just not playing very well right now. But what I like about this one is how these batters for the Atlanta Braves hit Canning, especially Marcell Ozuna. You look at his numbers, very good numbers. He's 4 for 5, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs in 2 games versus Canning. He's hitting 800 versus him. Okay, so he's very hot going against this guy, and I think he could really tee off on him. Out of everything, I really like Ozuna prop more than I like the game on this one. I haven't figured out how I'm going to weight the game per se, but that Ozuna prop is probably my favorite one. So if you got hits, runs, and RBIs, you can get the overs on that one. Total bases, I'd probably be hitting a lot of the props on Marcell Ozuna tomorrow.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. And we've seen Grant Holmes here, second-year player, 29 years old. So he spent a lot of time in the minors. He has found something. I mean, I believe he had 11 Ks in a recent game. And, some of these guys, Merrill Kelly is one that comes to mind, spent a lot of time in the minors. They find it somehow in their late 20s. All of a sudden, they have great careers in their 30s. And this is just, how it works. Pitching is a very complicated process in terms of, your pitch sequence, your grip, your delivery, so many moving parts. So I think Holmes has absolutely found something. And as you said, Griffin Canning, not good matchup data against Atlanta. I don't have anything in this one. Obviously, you see the line in a pick 'em in both. That generally leans towards a tight game. So we're probably going to see a tight game. Gunz finalizing, and obviously Marcell Ozuna expected to hit Griffin Canning. That's 33 minutes, and we got best bets. Thursday's theme is money, MLB player performance, the shark and the gun. Gunz, we got a bunch of top plays. How many do you have for us?
If we're going like official on this one, I got a lot of leans in these spots, but the three that I kind of like the most out of everything on the board, and I'll even throw that prop in there. Let's go the Dodgers Colorado over at 11.5. I like that Chicago Cubs spot on the money line with Imanaga, and that Tampa KC over 10. Love that one too. And of course, the prop that we just mentioned at the end of the show, Marcell Ozuna over. If you can get over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs as soon as that prop comes out, by God, just snab it. Hopefully, it's not too juice for you guys, but I think he's going to have a big game versus the Mets.
Yeah, I'm going to probably have at least 5 VIP plays today, but we'll give you guys 2 free plays. We really appreciate you guys tuning into the shows over the summer. I keep saying to my Telegram channel, guys, get off your couch, stand up in the office. I know it's hot, but let's keep the energy going here. Take the under between Gausman and Bybee in Cleveland. In the first 5. I really think you're going to see a pitcher's duel here early at an early time. And my second one, which I'll give to you guys, taking Houston with Hunter Brown at minus 140. And Gunz, let's put together a parlay. We're very close. We've come very close. And truthfully, I think as we go, of course, 4 shows a week, Shark and the Gun, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to get better information too here. Like when Luke and I, the prop master, of course, you're dropping props. Shout out to Luke, crushing the streets always. But when we hit our parlay in the NBA, we hit it at the back end of the season. And as the data gets better, we're going to start to see better angles. And I think we have a lot of decent angles on this card. So let's put together maybe like 5 or 6 and see what we can do here.
Yep, let's do it. Like I said, I like the we got to put the Cubs on their money line. I like that one a lot. I like that Dodgers over 11.5. What about that Houston? You want to put a Houston on there money line?
Yeah. What was the first two? I'm gonna write it down here.
Yeah, Houston. The first two was Chicago money line and the over in the Dodgers game, 11.5.
Okay, I like both of those. Over 11.5 money line. All right, we'll go with the under in the Blue Jays Guardians first 5. So Toronto, Cleveland first 5 under. I believe that line is 4.5, maybe 4, 3.5. Obviously, we're recording the night before, so a lot of the lines are not out currently. That's 4. Let's go with the over Rays Royals.
Yep.
Tampa Bay KC over 10. Marlins Giants, you have the under. I don't love that, so we'll stay away from that. And I do think the Twins will win. I think Woods Richardson, as I detailed, is going to pitch far better than Hancock. So let's go with the Twins. And that's the money line. So that's 6. So parlay Thursday, 6/26/2025. Cubs money line, Dodgers, Colorado over 11.5. Houston money line, Toronto, Cleveland first 5 under. I believe it's 4 or 4.5. Tampa Bay KC over 10 and Minnesota money line. 37 minutes in the books. We appreciate you guys immensely. Guns, give me some words and I'll close it out.
Yeah, if you haven't checked this out already, get over to the Telegram. Why Lose Guns, Why Lose Shark. We're dropping information all the time. And, of course, check out our VIPs as well, our best bets and all that stuff you can find on our Telegram. And you can follow us on all social media platforms, Why Lose _Guns, Why Lose _Shark. And you can find me on X, Guns Picks, and Sharks in Sports 88. You can go find us out there. Yeah, we'll be back this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, to break down the full card live right here at 11 a.m. So please check us out on both days, and let's cash some tickets.
Absolutely. That's 37 minutes. We appreciate you guys at the highest level. Tomorrow's show will be Burnsy Luke, and Coach Rick is off. I might be on there Friday as well, but the Shark and the Gun, as Gun said, we will be live 11 a.m. Saturday and Sunday morning. We barely sleep. We cap overnight. We love to cap. We love you guys. Have a great day. Thursday's theme is money. It is MLB player performance. For Jay Cavalier cashing tickets literally around the world as we speak. The prop master, Coach Rick. He is the Gun. I am the Shark. Stay strong, stay fast, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my own.